Sasha, play our love song.
Hi, I'm Sasha, your artificially intelligent PVAMU guide, here to take you through this special digital love segment, Couple of Panthers. Out of the thousands of love stories that have graced The Hill, my algorithms have crunched the numbers, and this year's Panther love story belongs to these two amazing souls. Now, let's dive into this Panther-made love journey. Hey Panthers, introduce yourselves. Who are we celebrating today?
Hi Sasha, I'm Dr. Candace Kennedy. I'm from Rockdale, Texas, and I graduated from Prairie in 2011.
Hey Sasha, I'm Dr. Alton Kennedy. I graduated from Prairie in 2011, and I'm from Round Rock, Texas.
Where did fate and PVAMU bring you two together for the first time?
Me,
got that
one. It was in Dr. Keaton's class, anatomy class.
Yep.
Of all places, our story started in anatomy class. She was actually having a conversation with another friend of ours, Brittany Barnes. And they were talking about a very popular show at that time, which was True Blood. I was in True Blood at that time, and so I had heard them talking, and I just kind of interjected into their conversation. Later, she told me that she really didn't like that, me butting into their conversation, but that was our first real meeting in that class. Yeah.
Every Panther has their special spot on the hill. Which place holds the most unforgettable memories for you?
I'm going to go ahead and take this one, Sasha. So the spot on campus for us is going to be the new science building.
Absolutely.
I don't think we stepped outside of new science at all. So if there was anything going on campus, if you're a biology major, you probably weren't involved in too much of that. Because all we did was just study all the time, or the library, but it was a lot of time spent.
We also used to shut the library down, but I think that most of our memories come from new science, studying all the time.
Let's settle this once and for all. Who caught feelings first? Be honest.
Sasha, I think he caught feelings first. No, maybe it was me. I don't know.
I actually don't know. Sasha, that's a really, really good question. Since we don't know, I'm gonna say maybe it was around the same time. Yeah, it's crazy. It just doesn't stand out which one. I guess we just kind of been together.
We spent so much time with each other. I think it just kind of like melted how it was supposed to.
Yeah.
In the game of love, charm is essential. Some call it game. Others call it smooth talking. Did your husband have any?
So we
Or
talk
was
about
it a
this
work
all
in
the time.
progress?
So
you're not gonna
he
tell me about the book,
no,
are
I
you?
am. So he used to say he used to read this book, and the book used to like put him on game. And now in my adult years, like I can tell when he's booking me, or if he's trying to book somebody, like to get them to do something. And so yeah, man, he had a mouthpiece on him. It was just like very smooth,
So Sasha, I'm gonna
collective.
interject here, okay? All right. I'm not gonna say it was game. You know, you read things, you pick up on certain things, and then once it's a part of you, it just kind of comes out. So I'm not gonna say it was game. Yeah, I did read some things to make sure that maybe I had a leg up in certain situations that I was able to thoroughly take advantage of my opportunities. But game, nah, no game. If y'all watching this, I may say it's a little game right now, but I promise it's not game.
What was your absolute favorite PV date? Paint the picture for us. Where did you go? What made it unforgettable?
Ooh, Sasha, you coming with the question, Sasha? Let's see.
I have one that kind of stands out, yeah, and I'm just gonna say unforgettable because I think that was the day where we just kind of came to terms with everything, and we just decided that we were gonna be together, forever. And crazy enough, it was Pizza Hut. We were sitting at Pizza Hut. You remember this?
That.
You remember this? Yeah. So, and we had to have one of those real, we'll say, come to Jesus conversations. And then at that point, we've been pretty much inseparable. So that's just something that since you asked, Sasha, that just kind of stood out in the moment.
Love is a journey, and at some point, you just know. When did you calculate that you were each other's
It
forever?
was that moment. It was that moment because he's a little older than I am. But I think that at the time when I was in school, dealing with a lot of people that were my age, they just didn't know what they wanted. And he came so sure. Like, he's like, I want you. We're gonna be together, and this is what we're gonna do. And I was like, okay, like, let's go, let's buckle up for life.
You didn't just build a love story, you built a legacy. What inspired you both to go into practice together? And how does that reflect Prairie View excellence?
I was born into Prairie View. My great-grandparents met at Prairie View, and so even like both my parents went to Prairie View, both grandparents went to Prairie View, so like it is embedded in me. So I definitely knew that's what I wanted to do. But coming out of Prairie View, I didn't know that I even wanted to be a chiropractor. We both had completely separate, different paths, and we were supporting each other on whatever that path looked like. And you gotta have fail-safes. You gotta have backup plans, because sometimes things don't work out how you think they're gonna work out. And when both of our plans kind of fell through, we decided, let's figure out what we can do maybe together and be impactful. We went through chiropractic school together, and then we decided to do the whole, let's open up a practice together. And at that point, we had been together probably like 6 or 7 years. So once again, spending every day with each other, and then trying to put ourselves into this new mold and figure out all new realms of life with owning a business and everything that comes along with that. We really have to sit down and have a plan. Like, is this what I want? How long do we think we're going to do this? Is this going to be lucrative for us to be able to live out the dreams that we said we wanted to do, later on? And I think that our response from that has been so tremendous. So many people gravitate towards us because they do know that we went to Prairie View, and we do look different. We're not your typical looking chiropractors. So if anything, that was like our biggest goal, was to bring something to the forefront that people don't normally think about, but then we're also helping people transform their perspective of health and what they do to manage it. And that doesn't necessarily look like us all the time. So I think that us being able to step into that light and just bring something new to people that they were able to value. And then that Prairie View just as the icing on the cake.
50 years from now, when future Panthers talk about your love story, what do you hope they say?
Oh, I hope people look at our story and say they were like resilient through everything. Look, no one knows the ins and outs of anyone's relationship, unless you're the two people that are in it, right? But I think you can tell when there's genuine love, when you actually care for that person, you actually love that person. And I think when we walk around alone or together, oh no, he's with someone and he loves her. She's with someone and she loves him. And then when you see us together, oh my goodness, because we hear it all the time. So I just hope that in 50 years, people still look at our relationship as one to, I don't want to say follow or to model after. I'm sure there's other, relationships that are doing absolutely great, that are probably doing better than we are, that we probably could learn from, But I hope that that's something that people will take note of, despite they always held it together. They always were unified. We always saw them loving, even though that may not be the situation behind closed doors. We always make sure that we are loving towards each other. And I hope that people continue to see that.
And now, the question that could shake the very foundation of your relationship. Who do you love more, PVAMU or your spouse? Choose wisely.
Oh, Sasha, you're going to start something here today. Oh my goodness. Oh wow! I'm gonna say my spouse. I will always have love for PV because PV led me to her. Without the love for PV, I would have never. Little backstory: I went to Prairie View for a few years, and I left, and I went to another school, and then I got a degree, and I worked, and then I went back to PV. So I will always have love for PV because if I didn't love it, I would have never went back for the second time. If I never went back to that, then I would have never met my wife. So, but at the end of the day, if one had to go, sorry PV, I love you, but I'm never letting this one go. So I'll say my wife.
I got the same answer. I love Prairie View to my core, but that's a good point. If it wasn't for Prairie View, I would have never found you and been able to interact with you. So I love you. And I'm gonna go with you.
Okay. There it is, Sasha.
Panther love is built different. It's strong, passionate, and rooted in legacy. And today, we've just witnessed another chapter in this beautiful love story. Keep loving, keep growing, and as always,
I'm loving the person that you are growing into. I mean, this was great that we did this because it gave me an opportunity to kind of revisit some of the things from back then that I haven't thought about in a really, really long time. And I would say the growth in you from, I don't want to call you simple, it's not that. It's don't misconstrue my words, Sasha, right? But you have grown so much. You've always had love in your heart, but the love that you have now, not only for yourself but others, it just shows through so much. And you are such an inspiration to so many people, even if you don't know it. And I just love who you are, and I just can't wait to see who you continue to grow into. When you have the silver streaks in your hair and all that. I just can't wait to see who you are. In years to come.
I wasn't supposed to cry today.
I know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you do that.
No,
but I just love you though, man. I just felt the need to say that.